Hello, I'm Teacher Oakley again, and welcome to Verbling, www.verbling.com. And once again, as I periodically do, now and again, I have a class about United States states. There are 50 of them, 50, thus the 50 stars on the flag of the United States. Today, we're going to talk about actually the sister state to where I was born. It's called the sister state because it looks the same except it's upside down. I was born in Vermont. Today we're going to talk about New Hampshire, aka also known as the Granite State. AKA is an acronym, also known as the Granite State. This is a kind of a unique state for many reasons. It's kind of interesting, actually. It's a very beautiful state as well to visit if you ever happen to be in that area of the world. Welcome to the class, Michael. Hello.
Hey, we are going to travel with you in New Hampshire virtually.
Yes, we are virtually. We're going to New Hampshire.
New Hampshire? Are you sure?
Yeah.
New Hampshire.
That's our New Hampshire is correct pronunciation, but I lived in a neighboring state to New Hampshire for a lot of my lifetime, and in the neighboring state Vermont, we called it New Hampshire, just as a silly nickname. Anyway, Michael, what do you know about New Hampshire? Actually, there's a lot of fun facts about New Hampshire. Interesting little tidbits. Do you know anything about New Hampshire?
Well, what I know, I don't know anything, but as I see on the map, it's located near Maine, state Maine.
Yes, it is.
So I presume that it's the same kind of state as Maine, but as far as I know, Maine is a countryside type of state. So New Hampshire is as well like forest and so on, forest animals, lakes, and also I presume there are not so many immigrants. So the population is kind of as in the state that we discussed. I don't remember what was the state we discussed.
I'm not sure which one you're talking about.
We had a lesson with you here,
Yeah.
and oh my God, that went from my head.
Yeah, I don't know. Idaho?
It's near. Yeah, Idaho.
Oh, yeah, good guess on my part. Okay. Yeah, not many immigrants in Idaho. Not. Yeah, you're kind of right about New Hampshire as well. Yeah, largely European people of European descent, white folks, as we say in America, mostly. I think something like 93%. Strangely, there is also a fairly large percentage, well, relatively speaking, of native North Americans. 3 or 4%, I think, in New Hampshire still.
Indians?
Yeah.
Okay.
Interestingly, and that means they've been around for a very long time because, of course, New Hampshire is located in the northeast, the first part of the country to be settled. All right, let's we've got some other students here. Let me say howdy and see what everybody knows or doesn't know about New Hampshire. Hey, Rafa, how are you?
Hi, teacher. Pretty fine, thank you. A little bit sleepy, but trying to join your class.
Okay.
So as I can. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
All right. Good morning, Rafa. We're talking about United States state of New Hampshire, also known as the Granite State. What do you know about New Hampshire? Do you know anything about it? Is it a complete blank?
I don't know if New York is in that area. I don't know anything about that place. But
Well, you're
If
only
it's not located
you're only
near
a
the New York, Rafa
well,
doesn't know.
actually, he's only a few hundred miles off or so, or maybe even less at one point, because New York borders Vermont, and Vermont borders New Hampshire. So, and Vermont's a pretty long, thin state. So, really, from New York to New Hampshire would only take about a hour and a half drive, maybe. So it's not so far, actually. Yeah, you're not too far off. Same part of the world anyway. You're in the Northeast. Okay, New Hampshire is part of what is known as New England. Do any of you guys know what am I talking about when I say New England? Do you have any idea?
Newfoundland and Labrador
No.
from Canada.
No, those are
It
Canadian
was.
provinces. Carmen? Hi, Carmen.
Hi, Oakley. I've been living in New England, so I think I should know what
Aha!
it. I think it. I mean, I'm not sure. I guess for common sense that it has that name because it was like the first area or the first region in which the English colons got in America, right? Or they established themselves in that area first.
Yeah, it's the first area that colonists,
Colonists.
it's kind of hard to say. Colonists, yeah. The first colonies of England were in New England area, thus New England. That's right. When they went there, that's right. And where did you live in New England?
I was living in Boston.
Okay. Massachusetts. Okay. Massachusetts. All right. We've already determined that Maine is actually to the east of New Hampshire, and Vermont is to the west of New Hampshire, and now we have Massachusetts, which happens to be the southern border of New Hampshire, actually. So in Boston, you were very close to New Hampshire. Did you ever get up there?
Yeah, I mean, when I was there, I took, I think it was less than 1 hour drive in a bus to get to Nashua, which is in the south of New Hampshire.
Mm-hmm.
And my impression about the state, it was too calm, too empty, a little bit boring, Oakley, I must say.
Yes, indeed. It is very boring. Yeah, it is and it isn't. But yeah, so many American states are, and maybe so many countries are. Spain, Spain. There's a lot of difference between the north and south part of the state, and even though, or Massachusetts is a kind of an east-west state, so there's a lot of difference between the east, Boston, and the west, which is much more rural countryside. Yeah, and New Hampshire is sort of a north-south stretching state, so it's a lot different north and south. You know, Nashua, Concord, there's a string of cities basically that goes from Boston and then sort of goes in a northwesterly direction, vaguely pointed toward Montreal, I guess, and through Vermont. But that southern part of the state is really boring. I totally agree. Nowhere I would really spend time. Malls and
Yeah. I mean the constructions. I mean I was visiting a family there. They had a beautiful, beautiful, typical American house. It was amazing. You just had like a forest in front as a backyard garden.
Mm-hmm.
But the truth is that it was completely isolated. I mean, that area of houses, and you actually had to drive like a long way to just get a pencil from a store.
Yeah, absolutely. And it gets more like that the more north you go. Yeah. Okay. True enough. Okay, let me quickly run it by Ismail. Ismail, do you know anything about New Hampshire at all?
No, nothing
And
actually. Hi, Oakley.
hi
I
again.
don't anything about US state.
Okay. Well, as I mentioned, and we kind of define New England, but to define it further, New England consists of a group of states. Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont are the northern part that all border Canada. So the northern border of New Hampshire is Canada, but a fairly remote part of Canada, there's really no big city near there. Vermont, on the other hand, is very close to Montreal, so there's a major city very close to the border. And then Maine, again, not really close to anything big in Canada. To the south of all three of those states is Massachusetts, and then below Massachusetts, you have Rhode Island and Connecticut, and that pretty much does it. That's New England, those 6 states. In the very northeast corner of the United States, that little part that hooks up there is that little corner is called New England. It has a culture. Really, it has its own sort of culture, really values, and you know, basically, New England people are a lot like each other. So I'm from Vermont. I can kind of relate to New Hampshireites, conservative generally. Strangely conservative, but at the same time liberal. I know that sounds very, that sounds totally paradoxical. I understand that, but you know, these are the states that first allow gay marriage. They're the first to enact pollution laws. They're the first to enact campaign contribution laws. So they're very progressive in that way, but very conservative in how they deal with law, how they deal with money. Not exactly wild swingers as far as, you know, not exactly a bunch of crazy partiers. Pretty conservative in lifestyle. And I think New Hampshire very much exemplifies those values. They're very much there. New Hampshire is very interesting for another political reason. Does anybody have any idea what I'm talking about? Politically, they are very well known for a very specific thing.
Republicans.
While they are generally a conservative Republican party-dominated state, that's absolutely true. There's also something very important and significant about New Hampshire, in particular, out of all the 50 states, that has to do with politics, which perhaps you guys being unfamiliar with the political system, maybe I have to explain. Do you guys know what a primary is?
Yep.
Why does it double everything I type? Okay.
No, primary about talking about elections. Are you talking?
That's right. That's
Okay.
exactly correct. So as you guys all know, that basically when it comes to the president, in the United States, we have a choice. Republican, bad choice, or Democrat, bad choice. And we get to pick the lesser of two evils. All right, but how do we end up with just one Republican, one Democrat? They have to go through primaries. There is a whole another election cycle in which you may have, you're probably going to have anywhere from 10 to 20 candidates. 10 to 20 Republicans, 10 to 20 Democrats. Unless there's an incumbent, then you probably only have one. Yes,
unless what?
There's an incumbent.
Okay, so it's a person. Could you define, please?
Incumbent. Yes, I can. An incumbent is a person who's already won the election. In the United States, the president can be the president for 2 terms. That's it.
Okay.
And he can never be president again. So Obama cannot be an incumbent candidate. He can't. He's done. And when he's done, he's out. He can never be president again. Those are the rules. So an incumbent generally just runs for re-election, so they don't have to campaign in the primary. All right. This year, or this coming election cycle for president, there will be Democratic and Republican primaries because, again, there will be 10 to 20 different people trying to get the primary nomination to be president. There is a vote, and normal citizens vote to see which they'll vote in what, either Republican or Democrat. You vote in the primary which guy you want to represent your party. Not only for president, for senators, for congressmen, whatever, even smaller, even state representatives within the state. The first primaries are in the country are in New Hampshire, always, by rule, so by law. So the first glimpse or the first idea that all Americans have of who has really got a chance to be the president is after the New Hampshire primaries. So it's like a big deal, at least in politics. It's a giant deal what happens in New Hampshire in the primaries. So everybody goes there. There's just thousands of reporters reporting on every little thing everybody says, and it's New Hampshire gets crowded for a short period of time. And it's a big deal, and it has a lot to do. It really sets the tone or the pace for the remaining primaries to see who even has a chance. After the first primaries, if there's 20 candidates, maybe there'll be 6 afterwards. It has a tendency to cut half the field out. You don't have a prayer. So, yeah. So it's in the United States political structure, it's very significant. New Hampshire. Why New Hampshire? I actually have no idea. They picked it first, I think. That's it. So it's kind of interesting in that way. Another bizarrely interesting, strange little thing about New Hampshire. You guys, I'm sure you don't know. The state motto, does Carmen, you live close to there. You saw the license plates, license plates on a car, all right?
Uh-huh.
They often license, most American license plates. Each different state has a different color scheme. Vermont is green with white writing. Geez, I don't even remember what New Hampshire is. I think it's the opposite, white with green writing. In any case, most states put their either their state nickname or their state motto on their license plate. Do you remember?
No, not at all.
Not at all. Okay. New Hampshire's state license plate says this: which is actually an ongoing forever joke in the United States for everybody else who doesn't live in New Hampshire. They say, live free or die. Famous patriot Patrick Henry quote. Not important, but okay. One of the forefathers of the United States. Live free or die. Okay. The irony here, the joke here is, do you know who makes the license plates in the United States? Do you know who actually manufactures the little
Do you
metal?
want to say that people who stay in prison? Prisoners?
Exactly. Very good, Michael. That is exactly correct. So, in other words, the New Hampshire inmates in the state prisons who can't ever escape have to stand there and print, live free or die, live free or die, live free or die, over and over again. It's sort of a cruel and unusual punishment. Yeah, ironic, but true. Yeah, that's exactly correct. Strangely enough, license plates are manufactured by prisoners in the United States. It's a big industry. Yeah, a weird point there. It is known as the Granite State. Why do you think, Rafa? Why is it named the Granite State?
The Granite State. I don't know so much about the United States. So big and so different states, different cultures, and every. I don't know exactly. Sorry.
Well, I'm asking you to make an inference, but it's not really that much of an inference. Do you know what granite is? The type. No? You guys don't know what granite is? Really?
It's a fruit, yeah?
No, that would be a pomegranate, which is something different entirely. Nope. No, granite is a type of stone. Similar to marble.
Oh, granite. Of course I know what is granite.
All right. When it's polished, it's very, very beautiful. All right. Make buildings and floors, and of course many monuments, many headstones, tombs are made of granite. Yeah. So New Hampshire and actually Vermont as well have granite quarries. It's a material, yes, a stone building material, marble and granite. Actually, though of course Italian marble is very, very famous. So is New Hampshire marble. Actually, it's also very, very sought after and renowned as a very, very good quality, beautiful stone, and granite as well. So yeah, it's the Granite State. There's a reason. There's another reason for. I mean, there is a lot of granite. Yeah. I enjoy hiking, so I used to love taking little camping trips and going hiking in New Hampshire. And one of my favorite hikes, which I did, I don't know, a dozen times at least, was in the very north. Carmen noted that it became more rural. Carmen, you probably didn't go really far north. No, but she did now. Bye, Carmen. Okay, she went north. If you go really far north, I mean, seriously, you're talking about towns with populations of 300, 150, 2,000. Really tiny towns. One of my favorite hikes I've ever taken in my life is a mountain. I think it's called Blueberry Mountain. It's in the very northern part of the state, very close to the Canadian border. It is very, very strange. I just have to share with you. You see all these other mountains covered with forests. You don't see any houses up there. You just don't. heavily forested, rivers and streams. And there's this one mountain that you can see from miles away, and it is nothing but a rounded dome like the top of my head, and it is pure granite. It is like pink and white, and it when the sun shines on it, it really sparkles. It is completely unique in the area, and it's completely remote as well. It is one of the best hikes I have ever taken in my life. It is so cool. At one point, you have to hike up a natural water flume, which is actually made out of marble. It stretches for like 50 meters or more, and it looks like a bowling alley, actually. It has very thin grooves because water flows down, and there's a little, just very, very little stream, tiny stream. So it's carved out, and you have to hike up it. And it's really, really kind of otherworldly and strange, like fantasy land. And once you get past that, when you get to the granite dome, which is the top of the mountain, you hike up, and there are millions of blueberries, fresh mountain blueberries. You're crawling up the mountainside, just filling your face with these very refreshing, juicy, delicious, pure mountain, natural, wild blueberries. Unbelievable. Awesome. Great hike. You get to the top, and it's nothing but granite. There's no foliage, plants, or trees on the top. It's just a gigantic rock, a humongous rock. That's all it is. And it's shining, it's beautiful, and there's never anyone there. You always have it to yourself or whoever you hike with. Very kind of romantic, magical place. Anyway, I know that was a long story, but I wanted to share with you some things about New Hampshire are very very cool. And some of the natural areas are really awesome. There is another natural area, which Carmen might know. All right. It's a mountain named after the first president of the United States. Ishmael, do you know who the first president of the United States was?
George Washington.
Very good. Bonus points for you. All right, Mount Washington is located in New Hampshire. It is the highest mountain in New Hampshire. It is, I don't know, 6,000 something feet high. It's not that high, I know, compared to mountains where you guys are from, but almost 2,000 meters. And it has a world record of a sort. Do you have any idea, Michael or Ishmael? What world record could this mountain that is only 2,000 meters high have?
2,000 meters?
Yes. This is...
It's the first mountain named by a president.
Good guess.
This is the
And maybe that's true. I actually don't know. No. It has to do with weather and extreme weather.
It's warm there. Is it warm there?
No, actually, it's in
Cold?
the northern part of the state. Oh, okay. It may not have the record anymore, actually. Oh, maybe, because it's not part of... No, not part of a storm. Okay. All right. Mount Washington, even though it is not, It's not one of the well-known huge mountains ever. During a storm in 1934, there was a measured wind speed of natural wind speed, not a hurricane, not a tornado, 372 kilometers per hour. Yeah. Which, as far as I know, is, at least it was, the world record for wind speed. And actually, if you hike up Mount Washington, be prepared for wind. It is insanely windy. It is the windiest place I have ever been. It is crazy. Okay? You can literally lean off the mountain 45 degrees and just lean into the wind and stand there. Just lean with your shoulder in on the wind and just stand there. It is the weirdest thing. It's like being in a wind tunnel. It's crazy. Michael, what is the windiest place you've ever been that is just consistently windy?
Well, honestly, I've never been to a very windy place where it's consistent wind. No, only like only in some like in autumn could be, but it's not so much wind. We don't have here like.
All right. Rafa, how about you? Have you ever experienced a wind that you could lean on and actually lean over and just stay in this position? Have you ever experienced such a thing?
I was remembering once, long time ago, in the north part of Spain, in Asturias, there were a lot of wind near the sea, in the sea line, on the beach, and it was almost impossible to stand properly. Also, sometimes windy part, this windy place is so dangerous for people because you fall down on the rocks. Sometimes people die for this reason. With the waves from the sea, it's dangerous. Yeah.
Okay. And actually, Mount Washington, because of the sometimes extreme weather conditions, extreme wind, extreme cold, people die there pretty much every year. It is the one place. There's a place in the eastern part of the country where there's frequently avalanches, and it is very popular. It's a very popular place to hike and to ski and to snowshoe, and yeah. The wind blows people off the mountain. The avalanches kill people. People get killed there frequently. Not dozens of people, but seems like 2 or 3 people every year manage to lose their life there. It's a strange mountain because it's not, comparatively speaking, it's not that high, but it is 2,000 meters, and it's not that far from the ocean. So it's a pretty steep climb up to the 2,000 meters. Yeah, it's very dangerous. Hi, Nader. Are we on speaking terms, or are you still unmicrophoned? Writing. Okay. All right, Nader, write us a story about the windiest place you've ever experienced. And you can do that while I'm talking to Ismail. Ismail, what is the windiest conditions you ever experienced? The strongest wind. I wrote down.
Yes.
Got a Wikipedia. Thanks, Nader. Okay. Yes, go ahead, Ismail. We'll explore Nader's.
We don't have too much extreme condition in Turkey actually, Oakley, but lately I can experience sometimes heavy condition because of the maybe because of climate change. Last year I was in a surf spot on the west side of Turkey. Lots of people are surfing on the sea, and it was very windy for me. Actually, I couldn't stand up right because
Yeah.
of the wind
Yeah. That's freaky.
and
Yeah.
a
Yeah, I
lot
have.
of
Yeah.
dust and sand are
Oh, dust.
flying in the air. You cannot open your eyes easily.
Yeah. I have experienced extreme wind conditions that are associated with. I've experienced a tornado. I've experienced hurricanes and typhoons. But the thing is, with all those extreme weather conditions, it's gusty. All right, the wind comes and goes, so it's unpredictable and blows you. It knocks you down, exactly as Ismail was saying, because it's not consistent. The weird thing, and maybe Nader experienced this on the Cairo Tower, I don't know. The weird thing about hiking Mount Washington is that the wind is just strong and consistent. You can literally you can stand on the edge of a cliff and lean over the cliff like this and let the wind just hold your arms out and just stand there. And the wind is so reliably, consistently strong. It's a weird thing, really. But, okay. Another thing that New Hampshire is uniquely known for, world record wind speed. Uh, not associated with a storm or a weather phenomena. Yeah, pretty freaky. Okay. New Hampshire, if you go there, it is, many people would argue, okay, it's a very natural area. In the winter, they have all the snow sports, beautiful mountains for skiing, definitely, snowmobiling, all those things. Summer hiking. Fall is really pretty there. The fall foliage, the leaves, especially the maple leaves, turn colors. A maple tree, first of all, has a lot of leaves, a lot of foliage. The leaves turn from, let's see if I can get this right, from,
Brown.
well, they start green, of course, but they actually turn colors, green to, how does it go? Green to yellow to orange to red to purple to brown. So one tree might have yellow, orange, mostly red into purple. It looks like a tie-dye, like one of those hippie T-shirts, from the 1960s. And it's almost too much. If you look out over a valley in the fall, it seems too much to deal with. There's so much color: yellow, orange, red, purple, green, brown, and the blue of the lakes. New Hampshire has a lot of lakes as well. So it's a very beautiful place to go in the fall as well. Is there fall foliage, Rafa, in Spain? Do you know what I mean? Fall foliage, the turning of the colors of the leaves?
Yeah. In autumn.
In autumn, yes. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. We have several forests, very important, with a lot of trees, very beautiful in autumn when leaves change colors, and many people go there to have to take pictures and painting and drawing. They are beautiful
Painting.
places. Yeah.
Yeah. Same in New Hampshire. They have a booming tourism season during that part of the year. Michael, actually, I've never asked you this question. Do you have fall foliage? Do you experience the changing of the colors of the leaf? Yeah.
But I think all the countries that have 4 seasons, they have this thing. So I'm not sure. Do you have 4 seasons in your Philippines? No, you don't
No.
have snow. That's for sure.
No.
So, but countries where is snow, like so, of course you have an autumn.
Yeah. You know, I ask you guys this, and I don't know how to express myself properly, to tell you the truth, because I lived in the United States, and I lived in the Northeast, where the fall foliage is spectacular. I mean, eye-blinding colors that are so bright they just freak you out. It's very different in the West, in the Rocky
Like
Mountains.
red colors?
In the East, it's red, purple, yellow, orange, and green, all mixed and blended. There's one red tree, and then a yellow tree, and then an orange tree. Have you ever seen the cereal called Fruit Loops, with the bird with the beak and the rainbow beak? It's an American cereal. I don't know. It's called Fruit
Can you
Loops.
write in the chat, please?
Yeah, well, okay. Maybe you have no idea what I'm talking about, but when I think of fall foliage in the Northeast in the United States, it reminds me, as I look over a valley, it looks like an enormous bowl of Fruit Loops. Fruit Loops are colored fruit cereal. They're little circles, but they're orange, yellow, red, purple.
Oh,
Many
okay.
different
So
colors.
I Google it. So yeah, it's for children, I think.
Yeah, it's for children. That's right. It's a sweet cereal,
Yeah.
but it's very bright. It's supposed to get the children's attention, I suppose. So anyway, that's what the fall foliage reminds me of in the Northeast. But in the Rocky Mountains, it's aspens, and they just turn yellow and gold. That's pretty much it. You see different shades of yellow gold. It's beautiful, but it is nothing like the Northeast. And in the West, in the California, Nevada mountains, Sierra Nevada mountains, there's more oaks and elms, so you get yellow and orange, but not really the red and purple colors, and more rusty, kind of dirty orange. I don't know. It's okay. It's pretty, but it's just not anywhere near anything like New England because of the maple trees, I assume, because of the hardwood trees, which have brighter colors. Anyway, there you go. So New Hampshire. All right. Also, what I forgot to mention, I mentioned all the states around it, except I didn't mention. Oh, excuse me. Gonna sneeze. I didn't mention it also. Woo.
Bless you.
Yeah. A little cold going. Thank you very much. It also borders on the Atlantic Ocean, but not much. Just, I don't know, maybe 30 kilometers or something, 30, 40 kilometers of Atlantic Ocean coastline. Not much. It's only like one city or two cities, maybe. Although they still have, New Hampshire has the biggest Navy shipyard. Anyway, even though they have very little coastline, they make use of it. What else do you? What do you think the economy of New Hampshire? Taking a guess about the climate, a temperate climate, and everything I've told you about this place. What do you think? What do you think this economy of New Hampshire? What do they do to make money? What is their economy based on there?
Wood.
Wood. Actually, to some
Production.
yeah, well, that's true. Granite, yeah, absolutely. Granite and marble. Forestry, yes. Okay. Forestry and lumber. When we don't normally say wood as an industry. We say lumber industry or what? The forestry. Well, okay, or forestry, I guess. Yep. Very true. Any other guesses, Ishmael? Forestry. Definitely granite and marble mines. Ishmael, any other guesses what they do to make money there? These crazy people?
I don't know. Maybe tourism for hiking,
Definitely tourism.
winter sport, skiing.
Yes, they have winter tourism, the fall season, and then also the summer season. There's a lot of lakes, so lots of people from the city. Boston is not far away. It's only an hour and a half, 2-hour drive, and you're up in the lake area of New Hampshire. So many people from Boston or some from New York City or other New England cities have second homes or rent camps in New Hampshire. So that's very common. Yeah.
What do people do around the lake? How do they spend their time?
Well,
is there any special activity? I mean, they are fishing or
there's definitely fishing. Yeah.
Camping.
Fishing, camping. Fishing's very good in New Hampshire, as it is through most of New England, or at least northern New England. The fishing is all very, very good. Camping. I don't know why, but in New Hampshire, the lakes are always packed with boats. I guess they're fishing, they're sailing. I see. Whenever I go to a New Hampshire lake, I just see tons of people. All the lakes have camps. There's little houses, little cottages or camps all around the lake. Every cottage has a pier or a dock that extends out into the lake. So you stop at a lake, you always see people swimming off the dock, fishing off the dock, lots of boats. Actually, lots of activities. And then in town, they will have various festivals all through the summer. That would be very common. Try to get the tourist money, Yeah, okay. Right, all right. Any guesses as to agriculture? Actually, it's all right. Okay, Nader, back in, back out. They have somewhat of an agriculture base. Ooh, I've given a couple clues, actually.
Flower, maybe? Flower business?
Flower business? Not really. It's kind of too cold. It's really cold, actually, in New Hampshire.
Yes.
They're just like Vermont. Their winter starts. There's usually snow on the ground by sometime in October, and by November it's already permanent snow on the ground. And there's usually snow on the ground until May. So it's a long winter, actually. Nader, I hear a bird. Oh, hey.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. And I hear a bird.
Maybe now I'm outside.
Okay. Is that your pet bird or just a friend of yours stopping by?
No, I'm on the street.
Oh, you're on the street. Oh, nice. Okay, that's cool. Okay. In New Hampshire, you're going to see lots of cows. They have a lot of dairy. They also have apples. They're kind of famous for their apples. Strangely, here's a weird one. Eggs. Go figure. They have a lot of. They're not famous for chicken, selling chicken meat. They are famous for eggs. I have no idea why, but in all over New England and even New York City, you get eggs. They're usually from New Hampshire. I don't know why. It's strange. And
They do
also,
chicken business.
yeah, they do, but they raise them for eggs. It's a weird thing in the United States. I can't explain it. In the East, they grow chickens for eggs, and in the West, they grow chickens for chicken to eat. I have no idea why that is. I just know that it's pretty much. Whoa, Nate, are you
There's
walking
a
by the
plane.
airport?
Airplane passing
Sorry,
by.
I'll mute myself.
Okay. Okay. All right. Walking by the airport. It's amazing there's so many birds by the airport. Okay. Right. So a lot of the state is based on the natural flora and fauna and so forth. But as I was telling Carmen in the beginning of the class, there is a small belt in the south where it's just boring manufacturing, textiles, rubber manufacturing, plastics, chemicals, lots of factories. It's a long, narrow state, and like 90% of the population lives in the bottom 10% of the state. They're all smashed down there because it's very close to the Boston area. So, and the shipyards and major manufacturing on the coast. So, you have most of the state, which is, it's of course very modern and everything in the bottom, but it's basically an extension of the city of Boston, pretty much. So it's totally different once you get into the, the top, the northern half of the state. It's just like a completely different place entirely. Okay, and that's, they make a lot of clothes there. I don't know why. However, I almost forgot. We've only got 2 minutes. Most important thing about, not most important thing, but one very odd thing, another odd thing. New Hampshire has odd things. They have no sales tax at all. Absolutely no sales tax for anything. And I mean for anything. They have no... Why? I have no idea why. They do pay income tax, but they have no sales tax. So you buy anything, you don't pay extra tax. And why? It really helps them out a lot. People come up from Boston to buy things, or from Maine and New Hampshire, or even down from Canada to buy things and then go home because everything's cheaper in New Hampshire. Including, this is the only place in the United States where I have seen this. In New Hampshire, on the federal highway, the major highway that cuts through New Hampshire, they have the most gigantic liquor store I have ever seen in my life. It is on the highway. It is actually a rest stop. It is not an exit. You can't get anywhere but to the liquor store. It's the only thing there, and bathrooms. So people get off the highway to go to the liquor store, this enormous liquor store, because most states have very high taxes on liquor, alcohol. So people go there. If you're going for any reason going through New Hampshire, you stop at the liquor store, and it's like a tourist attraction, actually, because it's so bizarre. They have every kind of alcohol you'd ever possibly think of. It is huge. It's an enormous store. like it's like the inside. It's like a football stadium or something. It's just full of liquor, and it's the only thing there. It's crazy. Also, a very unique and individual and very strange thing about New Hampshire, which is very weird because it's a very conservative state, and yet it has a highway liquor store the size of a football field. Pretty crazy.
Money doesn't have political preference.
Yeah. It's fun to go there. It's actually kind of amusing. It's like, oh my goodness, I had no idea that there were this many kinds of alcohol in the world. Wow, it's like Disneyland for alcohol.
For alcoholics.
For alcoholics. Alcoholic Disneyland. Yes.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It really is. And to think where it's located, it's on the highway. The only way you can get to this liquor store is by going on the federal highway, the major highway. It's weird. Anyway, hopefully someday you too can visit the New Hampshire liquor store. It's fun.
Hopefully.
Okay. Thanks a lot for listening, guys. I know I did most of the talking, but maybe you found something interesting about New Hampshire. Thank you so much. It's time for me to go now. It's almost dinner time for me. So thank you very much, and bye-bye.
Okay.